Hey, everybody. Welcome on back to You Gotta Try This with Large and Ian. Ian Becker, the P&L wrecker. By the way, every week when I put something out, somebody else named Ian inevitably goes, I put a pin in it, Large, like it's become his little shtick, which I love. So this is the You Gotta Try This podcast where you talk about anything that you put in your mouth, and it's brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi is my guy. Food tastes better with Pepsi. I like food. I like when food tastes better. So it's a natural marriage. One of the greatest things that happened to me was last week we had Willie Colon on. And as I did this Pepsi read, he interjected and told a story about his mom. Willie grew up in the projects in the Bronx. His mom, somebody drank her last Pepsi, either him or his brother Antonio, who I also love. She got so infuriated, I think he was young, like 10 or 12 at the time, that she sent her two boys out in the dead of night, after midnight, in the projects, in the Bronx, to a bodega to get her a Pepsi that one of them stole. And they were afraid for their lives. She actually regretted it as soon as she sent them out, but then she turned back all the regret once she had an ice cold Pepsi in her hand within a couple of minutes. So that's how much it meant to Mrs. Cologne. Rest in peace. She was an absolute queen. And it means that much to me too. The kids mess with my food in the fridge. They never mess with my Pepsi because they'll be hell to pay. I'm a big Pepsi Zero Sugar guy, but there's a host of flavors that you guys can go after. You can find it just about everywhere. And if you can't find it just about everywhere, go to that everywhere and demand that they start selling it. We appreciate the support from Pepsi, and we're going to keep drinking it and keep doing this show until they kick us off screaming. Let's get to the episode.
Food deserves Pepsi.
Food deserves Pepsi. I think that's a cool little tagline. And I think every time I have one, if we were doing a review, it's the easiest thing to say at the end, because that's how I feel. That's how we got involved with these guys. I'd said it in one of our interviews, and so they'd reach out to us. So I'm very proud of this partnership that we have with them. And obviously there's a partnership with Donnie in Chicago. So Barstool has become a Pepsi company, de facto Pepsi company, and I'm leading the charge. Screw it. I'm leading the charge here, Ian. How you doing, brother? You doing okay?
I'm a shell of a man.
You're a shell of a man because they are working you to the bone with You Gotta Try This. I work you to the bone. Not really. And well, I do, but I'm not a slave driver by any stretch. You push me more than I push you, I would think, right?
I drive the boat mostly.
You do.
I push it forward here on You Gotta Try This. I don't mind. I love doing You Gotta Try This. This is our passion project. This is our baby. Mm-hmm. I also do Roan.com, but the Barstool Beach House has been taking a toll on me.
So the Barstool Beach House, for people who aren't aware, every year for the past couple of years, maybe, I don't know, we rent a house down in the Jersey Shore, and then we invite certain content creators to go to the beach house every weekend, the same group with other people being invited, and they go out to the bars, they whoop it up, then they have some fun in the house. We tape it all, and it becomes like this little reality show. And this season, I don't know how it has been doing compared to others, seems to be pretty electric.
I think this is like the first season of like this format.
Okay.
This is like replacing Surviving Barstool.
But is that what it is? Because I know they did something down the Jersey Shore last year too. Maybe it was like a tester or something for this.
I think like way back, like Kelly Keys and like Vibs and a bunch of them did like a beach house. But this is the first one of this type. We wanted to do something reality that wasn't Surviving, so that's where Beach House and the Nikki Smokes, Brandon Walker funeral drama. That's what sparked this whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's doing really well. It's performing really well. It's outperforming what most people expected.
And the production side of it has been very good too. I mean, I know there's no shortage of production people there, both behind the camera and also guys who are just doing social and whatnot. So you've been down there you've been there 2 of the 4 weekends, and you're about to do your 4th, I guess?
I did half the first weekend, and I did the last 2, or I'm doing the last 2.
And what's your takeaway so far?
My takeaway is...
You'd like a nap.
Yes. My takeaway is, I guess, that Dave's a genius. Unfortunately, I don't mean to glaze the boss man, but...
Might as well. Why not?
I mean... I like going into this sort of doubted, like, all right, so we're just posting everything on social. Like, all right, so I guess that's what we're doing. And it couldn't have played out any better.
Oh, good. So it's good. And it's a good group of characters. Brianna Chicken Fry, who's pretty big. She's, creates headlines on her own, can kind of go in there and shake things up. And my favorite guy is Katic. right? Mike Katic, who came on, the offensive lineman, who's just offensive now, from University of Indiana University, IU. Yeah, from IU. He was on the 6-year plan. He's there tearing stuff up. Jackie, who's one of my favorite people in the world, is there. I like Danny Conrad. I've done some stuff with Danny, particularly with NASCAR. He's done some social stuff for us before he became a fixture on the Yak. So I love Danny. And, I think put together the whole cast, I'd have a tough time rattling off every name. I'm pretty proud I got those. It's been entertaining. But most importantly, so Katic and I have got a little love affair going. Maybe it's one-sided because I love the kid, but he did reach out to me and he was like, what's the deal? Because I had mentioned when he was on that I was going to come down and do something, cook for those guys in some way. This is the last weekend, so he invited me to come down. It's by invite only. So if you work for Barstool and you think you can get the address of this beach house and just show up, they will turn you away at the door. So Katic has given me the special dispensation, the VIP pass or whatever. So I'm going to meet up with the guys from Talercio's. Talercio's is an Italian deli down in Red Bank, sort of like Middletown, Red Bank area, but I believe the address is in Red Bank, Talercio's. These guys are big on social media. They make all these wild sandwiches, but even if these overwhelming sandwiches aren't your thing, they just have quality ingredients and they make great food. And I don't mean to insult you, Ian, but I got back from my St. Louis trip. I had a bunch of fried raviolis out there. They couldn't compare to the fried raviolis at Talercio's. And if you go to Talercio's and it's like your first time there, you ring the bell, you order your sandwich, and they give you a couple of free fried ravs. They're just very nice guys. Eric's the guy that I deal with. Vinny, who's behind there too, is just an absolute gem of a kid. So I'm going to Talercio's on Saturday morning. I'm going to make a shitload of sandwiches and food for the whole house. I think with production, there's like 20 people there. And in particular, I'm going to make a death row for Katic. I'm not sure what I'm putting on it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put everything but the kitchen sink. I've had conversations with Katic outside of the show, just kind of friend-wise, and I believe the only thing he doesn't mess with on sandwiches is tomatoes. So that's an easy thing to skip. Maybe I should have asked him saying, but what about me? Because I can wind up finding stuff that you've never had before. So either way, I got to figure it out. But right now, I'm thinking some sort of cutlet. I'll probably go a veal cutlet just because chicken's done to death. I'm thinking some sort of grilled sausage because I like meat on meat for that guy. I'm thinking some fried raviolis, maybe some crispy prosciutto, maybe some hot honey, maybe on a little better ricotta cheese with some, some sprinkled pistachios on it. We're going to go and try and knock Katic's eye out with this death row. And the reason is when I had asked him his death row meal, he went on for 19 minutes and gave us $2,000 worth of food that he thought people would source and bring to his cell before they put him to death. Meanwhile, most death rows have a cap of about $110. So this death row sandwich will come in just below that cap of $110, and we'll see what we can do. I'm looking forward to it. I guess I just show up now, right? I knock on the door. You'll let me in?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll be the one letting you in, but just be ready. Just be ready for 12 cameras in your face, social people everywhere.
Really?
And be ready to be funny.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm always on, so it should be kind of easy. Oh, Tommy Smokes. Tommy Smokes is down there. I know that Tommy likes a traditional Italian hero. Tommy will destroy it. Tommy Sabelli, Italian guy. Nicky Smokes, also an Italian guy. So I don't think I can go. Dante, very Italian, right? Brianna LaPaglia. Like, we're filled with Italians down the shore. I don't think I can screw this one up. I really don't think I could screw this one up if I go kind of down the middle. What?
The only thing that you need to consider here is we're going out Thursday night.
Yes.
And then they're probably doing something during the day on Friday, going out Friday night. That Saturday morning, it's the last weekend of 4 weekends of this.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the weekend because it's a Labor Day weekend. It's going to be like the dog days of this beach house.
Right. I'm not expecting their energy to be up. But if Katic's not up, I'll wake him up with the sandwich. That might even be better.
You might get some hoses, some throw up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yikes. So
there's been a lot of throwing up in the morning afters.
Has there been a lot of that?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Barstool's content, particularly that content that revolves around alcohol, involves vomit. Like, I was watching Tate, who's also on Barstool's Ohio's Tate, who is on here also, who does the After Dark, right? He's kind of picked up that mantle from Jerry. He did the 9 dogs, 9 beers and 9 innings, whatever, with a bunch of guys. And they basically took turns throwing up into the same garbage pail. Just so you know, I wouldn't be into that. I would hope they don't invite me to that shit.
Just because you brought up Ohio State, just a little tangent here. I know last year he did the Ohio State like 12-0 challenge where like he had all these punishments for each game that he lost.
Shit. I think I saw that. Can you give me some of these? So
last year he had, for the Oregon loss, he said he would like eat, I think 100 peeps for every point that Oregon scored or something.
Wow.
So he ended up having to eat like over like 3,000 peeps or something.
Oof.
Destroyed him for like his stomach for weeks.
I would imagine.
It took him a while. So the food challenge on this year's list that he has is for Wisconsin. So if Ohio State loses to Wisconsin, Ohio State has to take a bath in nacho cheese until he finds and eats 100 hidden cheese curds.
All right, let me visualize this. So Ohio's Tate, we'll just call him Tate just to make it. So Tate has to get into a bathtub filled with, viscous, not molten, obviously, nacho cheese. And then hidden inside that tub, they're dropping at least 100 cheese curds, little squeaky cheese curds. He's going to sit in the tub, fish around, maybe find one in Tate's taint, and he's got to eat those things.
Now, this was Big Cat's idea. Obviously, he was Wisconsin.
It's a little masochistic.
He's a Wisconsin alumni, so there's the rivalry there. And the original idea, this is what they landed on, is the 100 hidden cheese curds in the tub. The original idea, which they deemed would probably not actually be possible given Tate his whole life, was just to eat his way out of a full bathtub of nacho cheese.
Oh, God, that would be just terrible, man. That would... Like, you have to start to worry about his health. And Tate looks good now. He had gained a lot of weight, he had said when he first got here, but he's trimmed down. By the way, another former guest, Rico Bosco, trimming down like you read about. Rico looks fucking sexy. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a writer or this or that. I'm obviously a writer now because Rico and I have been, relatively close. I'm gonna think I'm a little bit more of a writer.
To bring things,
I'm a little bit, I got a picture of him in my wallet.
To bring things full circle here, he might have a little glow about him based on what happened this last weekend at the beach house. I know you haven't been paying attention.
I have not.
But Jeff Nadeau attempted to enter DJ's, which is Rico Bosco's home turf.
Yes.
No, you can't go. He did not get in.
Wait, Nadeau, who I've done Nadeau's show. Nadeau has that show. He does something. He's like a expert on mobsters. Loves anything that do with mobs. So I've gone on his show a couple of times, particularly with my Twisted History background. There was a mobster who was also a cannibal. So he invited me on to talk about the guy. I just happened to know his story. So I've fucked with Nadeau as much as I could when he was here. But he doesn't live around here, right? Where does he live?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, he's out in Amish country. So he went from Lancaster, or Lancaster, for some people out there pronounce it, all the way down to, what's the town that these guys are in? Manasquan, right? So I'm just one town north of Manasquan, so it's an easy commute for me. And he went down there, he got shut out at DJ's. Oh, Rico must have loved that.
So not only is he trimming down, but he's got a little strut about him.
Yeah. Can we put at some point, we're not going to do it for this podcast, people now put up a counter of how often I cross and recross my legs, because I do like this whole thing. I've done it twice since we've begun.
We can put up a counter once they give us a producer.
Once they give us a full-time producer. And that's another thing. Let's not blow this guy too much, but Ian does have a lot of stuff on his plate. This is a labor of love for us both. I do everything, all the decisions that go around what we eat and all that kind of stuff is me. That's my expertise. The distribution part of it is his expertise. So as much as I would never take a recommendation from him on where to eat, vice versa on how to get this stuff out. So it's integral. If you like this stuff, in order for us to keep going, the 5-star reviews mean everything. The subscribing to YouTube means everything. All those types of positivity helps us keep this thing alive and get people like Pepsi on board. So if you give us a 5-star review, inside the review, if you'd like to drop a question to either Ian or I, you can do that and we'll try to get to him on the show. So Ian, as we're talking about that, do we have any questions?
Yes, this one is from Joe Panny.
Joe Panny. I don't know who that is.
Spelled Pani, maybe Pani.
Okay.
Love the episode so far. Question for Large. Are there foods that you know are quick, dirty, and basically bad quality, but you still love them? For example, he lives in Philly, surrounded by great Italian delis, but still craves a Wawa hoagie or sometimes a Domino's instead of a good local pizza joint.
Okay.
And I see where he's coming from with that last part. Sometimes you're not looking for pizza. Sometimes you're looking for Domino's.
You know, people say that to me often. Like when we talked about it, because we did Domino's with Stu that whole time. And that was I haven't felt that need since college. But you're right. I think way back in college, this is me making confession to people. Way back in college, sometimes I did crave that cardboard and ketchup pizza. Sometimes I did crave, I was 18 and drunk. We'd go to Subway, and I think it was the best thing in the world. Coming from Brooklyn to South Bend, Indiana, there was nothing in South Bend, Indiana that really turned me on back then. But obviously, South Bend is better now. So I hear where he's coming from. I will tell you, Joe, I'm a proud Spam eater, and no one else in my family is. And I hadn't had Spam in a long time, and I went to do it the other day, and I cut it into planks, like almost into fries, fried it in peanut oil, and then it came out. They were beautiful. I was dipping them in like a sriracha aioli, and it was wonderful. It seemed almost like elevated. But given my druthers, you fry up some Spam in butter in a pan, and you put it on white bread, no toast, white bread, soft Wonder Bread with mayonnaise, white bread, mayonnaise, Spam. Whew, there's nothing healthy in that. I love it. My family does not. So it's like a guilty pleasure that I eat on my own. I was sitting down watching a race the other day, and I was thinking about Rochester, New York. They have these garbage plates up there. So I sort of wanted that. It was in my head. I went into my fridge. I had a couple of Windmill hot dogs. They're these giant hot dogs that are sold in New Jersey. I don't normally do this hand gesture since I'm Irish. I sliced them up. I kind of crisped them up in a pan. I got some kettle chips. Listen to this, Ian. This is awful. I took kettle chips, baked beans that I warmed up, obviously. I dummy them up with brown sugar and a little bit of mustard, poured them over the kettle chips with the fried hot dogs, a handful of just cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar cheese that I just grated off the block, popped it under the broiler. Out it came, diced white onion, and a squeeze of ballpark mustard. I made Franks and Beans nachos, and I don't think I didn't take a picture of it. I didn't put it up online or anything like that because I wasn't sure how I felt about it. It was goddamn delicious. So to answer Joe's question, yeah, I go to the well when when no one's looking, and I eat a lot of meat from the can. And I'm also not above making myself a good old fashioned Franks and Beans nachos every now and again. I think that's probably an answer to his question, right? Fair enough. Let's talk about something that just basically hit last night. Or at least this week, Cracker Barrel. Are you a Cracker Barrel guy?
Never been.
That surprises me. That surprised me that you've never been. I go to Cracker Barrel. They're all over the place. Why? There are...
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen one.
660 stores, and they're in 45 states. So I go to the one out on like Route 80 was the one that we used to go to, Annie and I, on our way out for whatever reason. If I was going to pick up fireworks, if we're on our way out to like maybe, I don't know, Hershey Park or Lancaster. So I've been to Cracker Barrel a bunch of times, and it's fine. And there's also one in the parking lot at Daytona International Speedway. In the parking lot, there's a Cracker Barrel. So you don't even have to go to your car to get there, blah, blah, blah. So I've been to Cracker Barrel in my lifetime probably, 25 times. So everyone knows this by now. Cracker Barrel decided to rebrand. They decided to rebrand in a minimalist way. So they took their big traditional logo, which had an older guy leaning up against a barrel. He's in a rocking chair. Then it says Cracker Barrel. And Cracker Barrel's name was reflecting on the soda crackers that they used to store in barrels. So they had an old guy next to a barrel on a rocking chair, said Cracker Barrel. They took out the old guy, they just had this plain old Cracker Barrel thing. And they also redesigned the stores to be a little less, I don't know, country. People lost their fucking minds. The stock dipped. They lost $200 million in market share in like an hour or something like that. One of the representatives who had pushed this this rebranding went on with Michael Strahan on Regis and Kelly or whatever the hell Michael Strahan's on and said, we've gotten such great feedback. Everyone's very happy. Meanwhile, the place was being burnt to the ground for all intents and purposes. And unlike other rebrands, Cracker Barrel listened. Even though their CEO or whatever got up there and said that it's all working, everything's fine, they wound up listening and they backtracked. They're going back to their old thing. I like that. I like when people listen. This isn't, by the way, this isn't a conversation about wokeness, like what had happened with Bud Light, right? Because I know it's in the same,
what happened.
I know it's in the same vein, but if Bud Light would have backtracked,
they did,
but they didn't.
Not as quickly.
They didn't until they lost billions. So Cracker Barrel had seen that was the direction. The president spoke about it, which I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. That's always a fucking headline. So they had backtracked. I don't know if they're still going to not revamp their stores, but for now, that old school logo for Cracker Barrel, which by the way, nobody gave a fuck about until they changed. Nobody was going around wearing Cracker Barrel hats and Cracker Barrel t-shirts except for me. Nobody gave a shit about it. But once they did that, people lost their fucking minds. So Cracker Barrel's like, fuck it, we'll just go back to the old thing, right? How do you feel about it? Sensible?
They just speed ran the Bud Light thing. They saw, wait, so we can piss people off by taking away something everyone loves or doing something everyone hates.
Yes.
And then just reverse it, and then everyone's going to love us again.
So,
and it's going to reverse course.
I used to trade Cracker Barrel. CBRL was the stock. How about this? You think it was a ploy? You think it was one of those things where this stock, if you put up a year chart on this, I don't know what it's like, but maybe it tops out at 120. Its lows were somewhere in the 50s. It's kind of comfortable between $65 and $70 a share. Let's say it's that. So they see that they're in a little bit of a funk. So they put this whole thing on just to watch that 17% dip and the 20% recovery. Because even that CEO that they marched out to talk about it to Michael Strahan, she looked like a plant. She looked like somebody that was purposely put out there to make people who go to Cracker Barrel angry. If they did that, first of all, I think that's illegal, but it's fucking genius. It's genius. They pick up on the dip, they buy for their employee repurchase program, and then maybe they let some out as the stock starts to rip, which I'm sure is Cracker Barrel up today? CBRL?
It's ripping.
It's absolutely fucking ripping.
8%.
Let me tell you right now, buy, sell, or hold Cracker Barrel, CBRL. The reason I'm asking Ian is because he and I have a little bit of a history with buy, selling, and holding stock from the family office. Rest in peace, Barstool Finance. Right now, where do you do with Cracker Barrel? Give me a last sale and tell me whether or not you buy, sell, or hold.
I think I have to buy.
You buy.
Because, I'm a chart guy.
I know you are.
I'm buying this. This thing has room to run. You
see the technicals and you think that it can back up over 120 or some bullshit like that.
I can see this becoming like a meme stock. People just get behind it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no reason that anyone should care about the Cracker Barrel logo. But now we do.
But nobody should care about Cracker Barrel.
Okay, exactly. But the logo, if someone missed this whole thing, they would have never known this was a thing because the logo is the same now, right?
Exactly. So it doesn't affect those people, right? But it brings eyes to it. Cracker Barrel didn't change anything on their menu. Perhaps they did, but it's never been mentioned because nobody gives a shit. You go to Cracker Barrel for the same thing. Middle of the road, hearty breakfast. Middle of the road, chicken and dumplings or something like that. So I think Cracker Barrel is where they need to be. They're never going to get to be any bigger. They're probably going to eventually get smaller and smaller. So having this last little pop, I say buy, sell, or hold. I say wait because they're reporting on September 18th. So we're on the verge of hearing what their quarterly stuff was. I'm assuming that analysts will get ahead of this and start giving off all their estimates, and maybe they'll start to give some guidance, Cracker Barrel, just to get us through this quarter, because I think this thing starts to top out, and I would be short Cracker Barrel. I will be short Cracker Barrel in and around September 18th, I think. And there's a lot of wood to chop between here and there, but I'd like to lay some shorts. Shorts out when you don't believe in a stock and you don't own it, you could sell it short, which means you borrow it from somebody, you sell it short, and then you have to buy it back lower to make money. Shorts have unlimited downside, because if the stock goes to $1 million, you still got to buy it back somewhere higher and take a loss. So I'm betting that Cracker Barrel will get all these pops, but it'll eventually settle back in to the restaurant that it is, which is just fucking Cracker Barrel, right?
Yeah. And I hope
now I want to go to Cracker Barrel.
I hope there's some people out there who, when we rebranded the family office to "You Got to Try This,"
yeah,
I hope they're still sticking around and they're finally like, yes. Some finance talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Finally.
That's right. I forgot. What Ian is saying for the feed, though, we used, You Got to Try This. We used the old Barstool Finance feed just to get the distribution for the podcast and whatnot up.
Which I don't think is that much of a stretch.
No, I don't think so either.
2/3 of the podcast is here still.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I think it's true to the nature of it too, because we do throw in some finance stuff every now and again. And to be quite honest with you, Barstool Finance didn't have a lot of finance involved in it either. It was a lot of just fucking shooting the shit. So anyway, Cracker Barrel, congratulations. You're back in the headlines and your stock price looks like it's no worse for wear. And you learned your lesson, maybe that whole go woke, go broke, or perhaps this was just an elaborate plan by you to kind of get that little dip opportunity to buy, then the pop opportunity to make a little bit of a profit. And if you did that, congratulations again, because that's fucking genius. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about, I get great invites. I get invited now places. I don't know if people, I always have gotten comments. We just did a sandwich of the month. The sandwich of the month we did, and I did these chicken cutlets that I fried in panko breadcrumbs that I crushed potato chips into. So the chicken cutlets were crusted with potato chips. On top of that, I had like a small salad on top of it. I did this spicy ranch dressing. Then I did a bacon lattice, like one of those weaved bacon blankets that I put on top of it. Great bread. It was an excellent sandwich. I inevitably get people who be like, oh, I'd like to come to Large's house and have a sandwich with him. I will talk about a restaurant. We'll go out to a restaurant and somebody will inevitably say, man, I would love to sit down for a meal with Large. And I get it. I'd love to sit down with a meal with somebody like me too. I'm a lot of fun and all that shit. But I also get invited where people actually put their money where their mouth is and they invite me places. Like when we did the episode with, what was it? T-Bop. Somebody invited me down. Reverend Phil invited me down to Louisiana to do the Boudin Trail and go gator hunting. And I'm telling you, I'm putting that in my back pocket. That's something that I want to do at some point. But some guy named Jacket Coats 10 just sent me this. Hey, Large, consider this an open invite to join us. My friends and I go to McSorley's every year on the Saturday before Christmas Eve. We drink 1,000+ darks and we raise money for charity. I don't know how that happens exactly with the raise money for charity, but I think it's cool. The amazing staff at McSorley's, and they are truly amazing, have played into the tradition and have added our picture to the wall alongside all the incredible history that the bar holds. Would love for you and the Barstool crew to join in, help raise money, sing Christmas carols beside us. There is very little chance that I'm at McSorley's this Saturday for Christmas. I have a wife and 3 kids. We got to go to everyone's family. So there's so much stuff to do, but that's a fucking great invite. You can go.
Send me.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, McSorley's? Is that one of those things that you could go there and hold your own, doing 1,000 darks with these boys?
They might have to let me go lights.
Okay, you have to go a little bit light on that. I hear you. But I'm a dark beer fan there. You know me with the liverwurst and the English mustard that they make with their light beer with the mustard seed and stuff. I love McSorley's. It's a great, I get great invites. Maybe that's a segment. I get great invites. Go.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I think you just stumbled across like a series.
Right.
Like obviously we'd have to vet these people. Like we can't just be going to random houses saying that I cook a good chicken pot pie and then
Right.
it's a dark room and you never see me again. But
that's pretty good.
I think if we can like vet it, like, all right, so you make this, send me some pictures, like FaceTime me, make sure you're not a creep, whatever we have to do to vet them.
I wonder if we could do that.
And then go to their house and then see if it's to the test.
Because back in the day, Clem and I.
Sort of like Riggs versus Haters golf series.
Yes, but the opposite, because I don't think, like, if somebody was like, I fucking hate you, come and eat my mom's pozole, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. But back when we were doing Podfathers, Clem and I were thinking about doing something from that, because we spoke about weddings quite a bit, particularly when wedding season would come up for people here in the company. And we were thinking about doing like a Wedding Crashers type thing, because we got invited to so many weddings back then that we would go there and just kind of film. And a lot of people were like, yeah, definitely, until they asked their wives. And then their wives like, no fucking shot. And we having Large and Clem with a cameraman sitting there and rating our pigs in the blanket. But this is different. Like showing up the Saturday before Christmas Eve. Hey, everybody, show up to McSorley's the Saturday before Christmas Eve and support these guys. I'll tweet out a link as it gets closer to it. But I think that would be kind of a good little piece of content.
So maybe that's how we avoid the creeps. Like maybe like it's like people invite you to like their like obscure restaurant. Like so it's a public place. And then
and Ian, you make a good point, because I don't want to show up. If it wasn't McSorley's, if they were like, there's a dark bar on the corner of 116th Street, and then all of a sudden I leave and I'm missing a kidney, I'm not willing to do that for content. But jackets, coats, 10. This is a good invite for me. I'm probably not going to take it. Obviously, again, my birthday's on Christmas, so it's a big festive time for me. And I got to slide in the 21 Club dinner, which isn't back yet. So we do it at Smith & Wally's. Like I have a bunch of stuff in and around that time that would probably make this seem like a no-brainer, but maybe I'll just swing by. Why can't I swing by and have a beer maybe?
I'm setting a reminder for the Saturday before Christmas Eve this year.
I have to imagine this person listens to us, so they're probably hearing what we're saying right now. I won't dwell on it too much longer, but for invites like that, it's priceless to me. Even if I can't make it, I want to go up to Wisconsin and go ice fishing with my buddy Tanner. I do. I want to do so much shit. That gentleman who's just in here, I want to go to Memphis with him. That guy who you work with, what's his name?
Cole Hardy.
I'd like to go to Memphis with Cole. He'd said to me, have you ever been to Memphis? And I was like, yeah, we used to go, Gus's Fried Chicken, the arcade, Rendezvous, all the touristy kind of spots, but still stay in the Peabody with the ducks come across the lobby and swim in the fountain. I don't go out at night too much in Memphis because it tends to get a little gunplay-ish. Memphis can be dicey, but
they're just having fun.
Just having fun. Yeah. Despops. So it's one of those things where I'd love to be America's guest at some point. Maybe that's the thing. America's guest with Large. Oh, think about it. We got another idea
cut
too,
that.
Cut that. All right, let's keep going. So we have had a embarrassment of good guests lately. This episode, we have no guests. This is just us kind of catching up, because when you have people with big personalities like Michael Ferraro came in, did like two plus hours with Mike. Then Rico's dad, who came in, we did 2+ hours with Rico's dad. Then we had Willie Colon, my guy, did 2.5 hours plus with Willie Colon. And we have a lot of guests kind of lined up. Do I mention them?
No.
Okay. We got a couple of guests from the food world and beyond who are lined up in a couple of weeks. So once we get into that grinder, we just thought it'd be kind of cool just to come in and catch up.
I will say, one of the guests, I've never been more excited for someone to come into Barstool.
And that's very specific. Like if it was me, everyone would be like, holy shit, they got Dolly Parton. This is a person that will not have that gravitas in my generation, but Ian loves him. And from who I spoke to within his camp, just really good people. And they have that connection to food because they started a small food brand. So it's going to make a lot of sense. But anyway, by the way, I'm on like group chats with Rico's dad and guys from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and people who were upstairs trading had heard the Rico's dad episode, Mr. Mayrose, Eddie Mayrose, and they loved it. I got so many people from my past. My good buddy Kevin Higgins, I mention him every now and again. Higgy with his boys. Higgy loves his boy. Higgy and Mary and their boys, just these fine Irish lads who are all like getting married and stuff now. I'm getting so old. But Higgy was like, Large, I was holding my side. I was laughing so hard. And as he had said that to me, and he's like, I wonder what he thought was so funny. But meanwhile, Annie was listening to it. My wife, Annie, was on the floor for a long time. She was listening to it while we were putting together a dresser for my daughter. And she was laughing the whole time. Just, oh, Bobby Sorg. Oh, Slats. Oh, this guy. Every time she had heard a name, it just naturally, oh, Tommy Ferrigno. Like any of those names just made her smile. So I'm really glad that people in my old industry who I've fallen out of contact with just because were able to reconnect indirectly through that.
Also, we were getting feedback. I don't know a single name these guys just said, but I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. People love, and that's the whole thing. I mentioned it a couple of times since I've been here. When they hired me at Barstool, they thought they were grabbing like an older demographic on Wall Street, but it's these newer kids on Wall Street who weren't there for all the good times and the ball busting. Just crossed my legs again. They're dying to hear about it, because everything has gotten a little bit more correct, and they're working iBanking guys are working themselves to the fucking bone, literally working themselves to death without any of the cool stories to tell about it like I had from the floor. So I will tell you what, there are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 other guys that I could bring in who don't happen to be related to anyone in the company. That's why Eddie Mayrose was lightning in a jar because of the whole RICO thing. I'm going to do that every now and again. I'll bring people in for Wall Street stories.
I was going to say the difference between like investment bankers now and what you guys were doing, like the kinds of lunches you guys were having versus the $30 Uber Eats credit they get if they stay past 8 p.m.
It's crazy, right? Like their Adderall versus, I don't want to talk about my drugs, but it's one of those things where it's such a different world that kind of ended around the time that I got out, you know, with the American Stock Exchange closing down. I started my career on a place that no longer exists. And it was a stock exchange, you know, because it got swallowed up by the New York Stock Exchange. So my point is that I thank all these people dearly for coming in, sharing their stories, shooting the shit, you know, Stratus. We've had a couple of good guests, man. We've had a Greenie, right? Nick,
Lisa Ann.
We've had all these, like, I don't know.
Tucker Wetmore.
Tucker, yeah. So we're very, very grateful for that. And plus this new girl, Sage, who works for Jordan Berry, like she's beating the bushes trying to get people from, I gave her a wish list. People, I love the Food Network, grew up on the Food Network. So I was like, can I get this and this? She's reaching out to them, which is nice to have that kind of help. So shout out to Sage for that kind of stuff. So my point is that we'll have a lot of people in this chair going forward. And we might have them in our new studio because they're building a studio for us just on the other side of the floor here in the New York HQ.
They're going to build a studio for us. They're not building a studio for us.
Yeah, they're on hiatus. We got approved, but obviously there's so many different, I mean, I can't keep up with Dave. I can't keep up with all the deals that he has going on. Every time I turn on, you know, something social media, I see that he's cooking on something else. So we certainly have enough projects in the air here at Barstool, and I'm glad that they fit it in. You got to try this for some of them. This has been like a brainstorming session for us, by the way. I think we have 2 pieces of content that we could work on with that. America's Guest and like some sort of Wall Street Stories thing.
And this is an open thing too. Like if you guys have ideas that for series that you want Large to do, like we're all ears.
Yeah.
We're here for you guys.
I'm trying to populate the map as good as possible, as well as possible. I'm trying to be as efficient as possible in populating the map that Ian had come up with. So we just did the content up in Massachusetts, Connecticut. I have stuff coming out from Denver. We obviously have New York.
And we're starting to put out a bunch of Alabama stuff.
Yeah, I was down in Tuscaloosa, so I was lucky enough to do a bunch of stuff with Alabama. I'll talk to you guys about that after it hits. Oh, no, one's already on. The Ramajama one already hit. So for people who aren't familiar with Tuscaloosa, so it's the home to University of Alabama, Crimson Tide. And literally in the shadow of their football stadium, there's this diner, luncheonette, whatever it's called over there. It's called Ramajama's. And they do a BLT that has 18 slices of bacon on it, one for every national championship that Alabama claims. So I had to try it. You got to try this. I went in there, nicest people in the world, and the review is up right now on all our social ones. Alongside that, I can't give a more of a glowing recommendation. 18 slices of bacon is 18 slices of bacon. Feel how you want. Feel how you want about that. It's overwhelming. I don't need that. There's another thing in that review, Conecuh sausage. It's made in like Conecuh, Alabama or something. I've never seen it before except inside the stadium. And I had it Conecuh sausage, egg, and cheese on like a hot dog roll there. Patrick Morris, who I work with at NASCAR, one of the nicest guys in the world, he sent me a coffin full of Conecuh sausage because he's an Alabama guy when he found out I liked it. And I cooked and ate a coffin full of it. So this is one of my loves, Conecuh sausage. So you'll get that on there too. And then we're going to go around. Since I moved my son into school, I did like 3 or 4 places down there, culminating in Catfish Heaven. I'm not going to give away too much about that, but if you like catfish, Catfish Heaven is the place to be. You know, while I'm talking about our reviews, I'm going to address again. We pissed off English people with the bagel bake versus the black seed bagel thing. I don't mind if people get mad because I say we're in England, home to colonialism and bad teeth. I get that. Even though it's a joke, I get people being mad. There are people, when I say that the exact same sandwich I had in London is recreated at a place in New York City, and it's on a bagel. It's a bagel sandwich with corned beef, English mustard, pickles. Over there, it's salt beef, English mustard, and gherkins. Same exact stuff on a bagel. The one that we had here was actually, I think it was pastrami. It wasn't corned beef, but whatever. It was one of those cured meats. The one that I had here in New York City was Head and Shoulders better than the one that I had in London. In London, people are like, no, it's better. We have just as good of bagels. Just stop. Just stay in your fucking lane. Honestly, maybe it's bitterness because of the fucking Revolutionary War. Maybe, I don't know what it is, but just fucking stop. Please do not get ahead of your skis. I did the review of Fusaro's in Stamford, Connecticut, and I'd mentioned it was like unknown hidden gem or something like that. People talking to me about Stamford, Connecticut, it being like a capital for Italian food. Perhaps that's true, but just stop thinking that people know that. Nobody fucking can point to it on a map. Nobody knows it. And that's the reason I'm doing it. I had a very good thing. It's, Fusaro's. I'm going to go to like Silvium next. Gaetano's up there. Like it'll beget me trying other places. And the more people, assholes like me do that, then it'll become like this widely accepted and widely known Little Italy up in Stamford, Connecticut. But unless we do that, nobody outside of Connecticut knows anything about Stamford other than the fact that it's fucking spelt with an M as opposed to N. So I appreciate all the feedback and stuff like that, but stay in your fucking lane sometimes. That's all I got to say. I got 2 car stories and I wanted to blow these by you, Ian. There was one that I had seen. It was a Yelp review of an Outback Steakhouse. It was put out there by an Instagram account called Tuna Meltdown. I believe I follow them. I like to give people props when I remember who they are. And it's a simple picture of a Yelp review, it looks like. Outback Steakhouse. The review is from a woman named Diana. And her little avatar, she looks like someone who's named Diana who goes to Outback quite a bit. Like me with a wig, basically. And 4 months ago, Diana gave a 1-star Yelp review to this Outback Steakhouse. And she said in the review, "I'm absolutely livid. My husband drove all the way to pick up our Outback order, and you people forgot the bloomin' onion. That was the only thing I wanted." So she lives like 25 minutes away from Outback Steakhouse. Her husband goes to pick up the food, comes back. So he goes 25 minutes out, picks up the hot food, brings it back 25 minutes. So now it's not so hot. She opens it up. She's ready to get into her kookaburra wings or whatever the fuck they sell. There's no bloomin' onion there. She's fuming, so much so that she takes to Yelp and immediately rage types out this 1-star review. The only time frame that's given on this Yelp review is 4 months ago. The next review right after it is Diana again. And again, it says 4 months ago, but this time it's a 5-star review. And Diana simply writes, "My fat husband ate the blooming onion in the car and lied to me about it. I am so sorry, and I don't know how to delete reviews." That's a very boomerish me thing to do. And it got me thinking.
I found Annie's burner.
That's Annie's burner, yeah. I got me thinking, who the fuck eats a bloomin' onion in 25 minutes in the front seat of a car? So put a pin in that idea. The second thing that I read is about this Italian kid. And he says, maybe he turned like 12 or 13 or some shit. My dad said, you're coming with us to pick up the pizza. You're coming with me to pick up the pizza. He's like, my whole life, we'd have pizza on Fridays. And every Friday, my dad would go to the pizza parlor, pick up 4 bar pies, those smaller tavern-style pies, bring them back to me, Mom, my brother, and my sister, and him, and we'd have pizza. We'd have 4 bar pies between the 5 of us, and it was perfect. But the dad always went and pick it up, and it was a sacred tradition. Nobody ever went with them. Nobody was invited to go with them. So the pop says, you're ready, you're coming with me. So he goes to the place where they pick up the bar pies. They pick up a couple of cans of soda, a couple of cans of Pepsi, as a matter of fact, before. So he's like, oh, cool. Every time I pick up this with my dad, I'm going to have a soda for the road. That's enough for a 12-year-old kid. But then he notices that his dad picked up 5 bar pies. Gets that in the car, cracks open the soda, says, thanks very much for inviting me. Dad, I didn't want to mention in the store, but they gave us 5 pies instead of 4. We always order 4. He's like, no, we always order 5. I eat one in the car. So now you and I are going to eat this in the car before we get home. And the kid's like, holy shit. And now thinking about it as an adult, he's like, I remember my dad coming home with the 4 pies, the 3 kids converging on it, along with the mom, and the dad saying to the mom, hold off, let them eat first. Like, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, the dad's got a fucking whole pie in him. That's diabolical. Isn't that diabolical? What's worse? The dad pulling off a decade-long fucking pizza heist? Or the fat fuck who does a 25-minute bloomin' onion in the car and lies about it to his wife? Oh, they must not have put it into the bag. So she went fucking berserk. I don't know what's worse.
It's the same guy.
It's probably the same fucking guy. It's a good point. But my point is, what's the best road food? That's what I'm going to put to you right now. Because sometimes that's kind of clippable. Dan was the first one to kind of say it here at Barstool years ago about getting the fries in the fries at the top of the bag to eat in the car fries. And the more I think about it, I don't know if there's a topper to that, because a full pie is not the answer. A bloomin' onion is not the fucking answer. Can you think of any? I'm asking my listeners right now, our listeners right now, can you think of something that's better to eat on the way home with takeout that you're bringing for more people that you can pick on than like a small fry in the bag?
No.
There's probably not, right? I can remember distinctly Burger King on Knapp Street was closer to me than McDonald's on Nostrand Avenue. So if we were to do fast food as kids, Burger King was where we'd go. And what Burger King would do for their to-go orders in particular, they would always put a single onion ring in the fries. And I loved that. Like, and McDonald's fries are better than Burger King. I get it. I understand. Please don't, poor shame me for being a Burger King guy back in the day. I really don't give a shit about it now. That was special. Like, you go pick it up and then you have one onion ring and a small fry on the way home. That's an elite thing. I don't know if we can think of, please someone give me something better.
And even the way that those fast food places package the bags, they put the fries on top.
Yes.
Literally sticking out, right, begging you to grab one.
Yes. I will. So Five Guys, everyone loves Five Guys. They fill up the cup of fries so much. So they're budgeted to do that. Five Guys has the budget, whatever they do with the size of the cups, they budget to throw some extra. Still, it's very well received.
So yeah. So by the way, just quick, if you're ordering anything bigger than a small fry at Five Guys, you're a fat fuck.
Holy shit. I made that. We had 3 people, myself, Finn, and Annie went to Five Guys the other day, and I ordered 1 large fry between the 3 of us. It's in a movie theater size soda cup. It is. It's very, you have to be in the mood for a ton of fries. Although they do have the malt vinegar in there. I'm salivating whenever I think of vinegar. So it is right there. So I'm trying to think of it and I'm posing the question. Maybe I'll go around and ask the office too.
What's the best food to eat in a car?
particularly if you're bringing it home, because it can't ruin your appetite. Like if you're bringing home Chinese, is having a couple of dumplings up top, that seems like you wouldn't do that.
You cannot eat Chinese because then you have to unstaple the bat. You have to get, it's a whole thing with the Chinese.
Maybe if you're bringing donuts home to the kids, but you order 13 and you have a donut, donuts might be it. Donuts is a good one.
That's what we don't see. Big Cat only tweets the picture of the donuts that go back to his house.
He's a perfect example.
He's eating donuts at the fucking shop or on the way home. He's got to be.
I got to get Big Cat on the show.
Next time you're in Chicago, yeah.
I'll do Big Cat, yeah. I'm also thinking we used to go to Francis Bakery in Bay Ridge, and if the bread came straight, particularly around a holiday, you'd go to like Cuccios for the rolls or this place or this place. I remember Francis Bakery used to have, when you'd get the bread in the morning, even though you weren't serving it for that night, the bread was warm. So I'd inevitably say, give me one more loaf, because I'd eat hot Italian bread right out of the oven. If you put it in the front seat of your car and your whole car smells like a bakery, man, that's eating too. But that's a technicality. I'm bringing it back for something else. Maybe donuts. I think that's probably the only direction that I can go with that. What else do I go? Oh, I got something from somebody called M Gold. Yo, I love this show. Been binging it. Did I talk about this guy? He called himself a pizza bagel. Did I ever tell you about that?
I think we did do this. I'm pretty sure this sounds familiar.
I love the fact that he's half Russian Jew.
Yeah, we did this.
Half Italian. And I love the fact that he's called a pizza bagel. So I just want him to know I'm not going to read the thing again. I've been using that. Like, because I know a lot of, you know what I mean? Like the whole pizza bagel thing, half Italian, half Jewish. I love that. That's in my lexicon because of this guy. So
that would make me
M Gold. That was his name.
Would that make me a matzo ball?
Sort of. Why? What are you? What's your?
I'm all Jewish.
Oh, so you're 100%.
I'm just a matzo ball.
You're straight up gefilte. Yeah, I guess you would be. You'd be a fucking matzo ball. Good for you. You know what? So invites, Large gets the big invites. America's guest. That might be a segment. Also, I have a hero of the week. I saw this story. I just wanted to mention it. I'm a dog guy. Are you a cat guy? Please tell me no.
I never had pets growing up.
Really? That explains a lot.
Not by choice. I always wanted a dog.
Really?
Yeah.
What about cats? No?
Never wanted a cat.
Yeah, I've never been a cat guy.
Nah.
I'm not going to judge you guys.
If I would have been either or, I would have been a dog guy.
Really? Would you be a big dog guy or small dog guy?
Medium dog guy.
Okay. I started as a kid. I wanted the biggest dogs in the world. So I had like Irish setters, German shepherds, like the big boys. We had a half shepherd, half Rottweiler named McGurk. He was the most handsome dog that you ever saw. And as I'm getting older, my dogs have gotten smaller and smaller. I had English bulldogs for a long time, and now I went even smaller to a French bulldog. And I think as I get older, I'm going to be one of those old, weird guys who has like a dog that you could fit in a microwave, like one of those little things. But either way, I'm a dog lover. Always have been. There's no shortage of dog lovers here at Barstool. Dave leading the charge, obviously, with Peaches and Pete and whoever else. He only has the two dogs. I heard about this. Max the Great Pyrenees. And they call Max the Great Disappearanese, and there's a reason for that. This dog was on a podcast called, I think it's called We Rate Dogs. Maybe it's just a YouTube show, We Rate Dogs, or maybe the Dogs Were Good Again podcast. So I think they're the same exact people. I just don't know what they'd rather go as. So We Rate Dogs is how I saw them on YouTube, but I think the podcast where the Dogs Were Good Again. And it's just two handsome people, young lady, young man, and they just talk about dogs. And they're like, this is the good boy of the week or some shit like that. So they told a story about this 4-year-old Great Pyrenees who's living in South Dakota, which I think most people think is kind of spread out and kind of airy. South Dakota, people aren't living on top of each other. Maybe I'm, ignorant thinking that, but that's what's in my mind. So this Great Pyrenees, which is like the final level of a golden retriever. It's just this big, beautiful fucking dog. Their daughter comes home at 11:30 at night and she left the door open or something. So this Great Pyrenees leaves the house at 11:30 unbeknownst to anybody and walks 7 miles into town. walked 7 miles into town to this deli that he knows of that had given him a breakfast burrito once. So these dogs are so goddamn smart. Didn't retrace his steps, kind of did, but in the middle of the night, 11:30 at night, he walks 7 miles into town. And the reason they know exactly what he did is the next morning when the owners woke up, he has 2 GPS tags because he has a history, and they saw exactly, he got to town at 2:30 in the morning, leaving at 11:30 from the house, a casual 3-hour stroll into town. The place didn't open up until 7 o'clock. So then he continued to walk around for a couple of hours, just strolling. And once the place had opened up, the owners had seen him outside. They had recognized Max. They had called his owner, and then they gave this guy a breakfast burrito. I don't know what it is, but it makes my heart smile when I read stuff like that. So if I could have if you ask me, who would you like to come on to this podcast? I think the ones that I want is probably going to be Max. I wouldn't mind having Max on this podcast. And that's the type of dog that I want you to have, Ian, at some point. What else are we going to talk about? Anything else we need to talk about on this?
Your bacon sandwich and talking about heart being happy. I mean, I used to order this sandwich when I was at sleepaway camp. There's this place called JoJo's Deli in Moultonboro, New Hampshire. The best sandwiches you'll ever get. It's like a grocery store.
Right.
And the go-to there is meatballs. And I would go meatballs, and then I would dabble meatball bacon. And then eventually I was like, wait a second. So they would give us these like order slips to check out.
Right.
I was like, what happens if you only check bacon? I would rip bacon subs, just bacon on sub rolls. More than 18 slices.
But no butter, no nothing, no mayonnaise, no just bacon.
Just they like 3 inches thick of just bacon on a
really?
sub roll.
And that was your thing.
Oh yeah.
So with the BLT that I had in Alabama, you wouldn't order that normally because you don't like lettuce?
Correct.
You don't like lettuce.
I mean,
how do you feel about tomato?
I don't like.
How do you feel about mayo?
I don't like a cold tomato. I don't really. A lot of these things I haven't really eaten enough to like. I'm saying no because I probably tried them when I was a kid and had a poor experience with it. Like mayo, I don't think I couldn't tell you the last time I've had it. Couldn't tell you the last time I like had like a cold tomato.
Jesus Christ. I just had a tomato sandwich because it's the end of the summer. For people who aren't familiar, New Jersey has some of the best tomatoes you can get in the United States. Tomatoes, blueberry. The Garden State, people think of New Jersey, they think more about the smokestacks that you see around Newark Airport and maybe some of the crime statistics that you see coming out of Camden or Patterson or stuff like that. But Jersey is one of the biggest producers of produce. It's the Garden State, truly is. So we have the benefit of these tomatoes. I made a tomato sandwich the other day. Ian, I'll send you a picture of it if you want to include it here. It's just thick cut beefsteak tomato on a ciabatta roll that I lightly toasted with a ton of salt, a little bit of pepper, and an inordinate amount of mayonnaise. Sign me the hell up for that shit. 2 days a week if I could. You know what? I'd seen a story too while I'm on this. I have a history thing to talk about, but also I had seen a podcast. It's called, what the hell is it called? The Jersey Best Podcast. And the Jersey Best Podcast had said that there's a Jersey flavored ice cream somewhere called the Jers. The Jers is is the name of it. Jersey Best Podcast. And it's a cream corn based ice cream with a swirling of fresh blueberry sauce. How do you feel about that? Sweet corn in the base, a swirl of blueberry sauce, because sweet corn, Jersey's known for, blueberries they're known for. And then inside of it is candied pieces of Taylor ham or pork roll, whichever tribe you belong to. Inside that, to me, that turns me on. That grosses you out. That's a Jersey flavored ice cream. I don't know if New York has one that could be better than that because they're not necessarily known for type of stuff that would go in ice cream, but give me the fucking Jers all day, every day. Another thing that I wanted to hit because we haven't done it when Willie was in, I think I skipped the history part. I usually do a little history segment. I'm going to do one again today, but go ahead.
Do you mind if I skip you again?
Go ahead.
Because I got something a little more timely.
Please.
You were speaking about New Jersey. We were just talking about how you're getting invited to the beach house. I completely forgot about this clip.
Go.
and you didn't see it, obviously.
I did not.
Katic's McDonald's order.
Oh, he told me about that when we were in the podcast. He has a McDonald's go-to order. It's disgusting.
It's insane. And let me tell you.
Did he order it there? Did somebody see him eat this actually?
The amount of McDonald's and just random food we've ordered to the house late at night has been disgusting. But I will say this order, I'll play it now.
Give it to me.
For the audience. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to watch the clip. But here we go.
Katic, what's the McDonald's order?
So usually when I'm drunk, shot. I don't mean to break the fourth wall. So usually my drunk. Ella, can you shut the fuck up? Katic? So usually my drunk McDonald's order is 2 McChickens, 2 McDoubles, a Big Mac, 20-piece nugget, large fry.
What?
What?
Katic, hey, I'm so good. I never even appreciate it if you. I wish I bought it up.
2 McChickens, so that's their chicken sandwich. 2 McDoubles, or double cheeseburgers, a Big Mac, a 20-piece nugget, and a large fry. It's a big meal, man. That kid has got to slow down. I mean, he needs to get it out of his system now, but sooner, because I love the kid, he's got to slow down. You know, I'm not a McDonald's guy. I don't do a lot of fast food, even though we talk about it quite a bit here on the show. This whole snack wrap being back, is that movie? It looks like a chicken finger wrapped in a tortilla. Why are people losing their minds about this? Like it's the return of the king.
I can't get my head around it. Okay. I don't understand. It's not just me. I mean, I guess it's probably like what it is. It's like for the girls mostly. Like
it's a little lighter, a
little snack wrap. You know. Okay,
and I can see that.
It has like the lettuce in it. Which, you know, obviously I see lettuce and I turn the other way.
Yeah, you're a weirdo. Let's talk about a food before we get out of here that not a lot of people know. I've tried it multiple times. I can guarantee that Ian hasn't tried it, but it's horse meat. Horse meat comes from a significant part of the culinary traditions of many countries, particularly in Europe and Asia. The 8 countries that consume the most horse meat consume about 4.3 million horses a year. 4.3 million horses a year. So this isn't just a town somewhere that just enjoys horse. Horses are slaughtered and killed by the millions every year. It's not generally available in some English-speaking countries like the US, the UK, South Africa, and Australia, and it's absolutely taboo to eat in places like Brazil, Ireland, Poland, and Israel. In Spain, they don't necessarily eat it, except northern Spain. The country exports horses both as live animals and as slaughtered meat for French and Italian markets. The French and the Italians eat a lot of fucking horse. In 2009, Mexico also joined in and became the largest producer of horse meat in the world. So if you're eating horse, there's a good chance it came from Mexico or Spain, and there's a good chance you're eating it in France or in Italy. While horse meat in the US, the laws change state to state, but there is a restaurant in Pennsylvania that had horse tartare, meaning raw, on their menu. I would fuck with that. I don't think that you would, but I would. Otherwise, here in the US, it's usually also exported, and domestic consumption is attributed to non-human. It's in a lot of feed at carnivorous zoo animals and shit like that. Otherwise, most of the horses that could be used as food are raised in states like Texas, then exported to Mexico, and then to Canada to be butchered and sold as food, with the exception of horses used as dog food, but that stopped in 1970s with a government ban. So before the 1970s, most of the dog food that you fed your dogs had at least a little bit of horse in it. So if you're so hungry that you could eat a horse, you actually have some options. In France, if you see something called steak au cheval, that's any dish made with chevaline, that means that you're eating horse. It's sweet. It's gamey. If you've eaten bison, that comes close. It's a naturally muscular, athletic animal, so it's lean with a higher iron content than beef. And I have eaten horse many times. I used to have that eating club in New York. I've spoke about it before, called the New Deal. So I've eaten it many times, and I've also eaten it with the wonton don. So before you poo-poo it away, if you see horse on the menu, I'm not saying you got to try this, but historically, it's tried by millions of people just about every day. Horse meat, yay or nay? See, I said yay or nay there because nay is something that horses do. It's levels to this shit. You would never.
You said it's similar to bison.
You've had bison probably with your turkey bullshit, your taco bullshit, no?
No. Ooh. But when I was at Internet Invitational out in Big Cedar in Missouri, they had these things called bison dogs that they had like at the turn of the whatever for like little snacks. And I thought it was just like a cute little name for their hot dog. Oh no, that's a bison dog. It's
very, very healthy.
It tasted,
it tasted like shit.
I couldn't have been more disappointed.
Okay.
I was ready for just a hot dog and I was not sure what I was eating, to be honest with you. And it was because it's bison.
One of the last things I'm going to touch on before I get out of here, as we get into football season and all that kind of stuff, I am fascinated, you guys already know this, with food that they serve in stadiums. Football stadiums in the UK, they have that footy scran or something. I love all of that stuff. The Wisconsin Timber Rattlers just started offering something called the Big Mother Funnel Burger. It consists of a 1 pound burger. 1 pound burger is, think about a quarter pounder. Now think about 4 of them. Lettuce, tomato, cheese, and bacon, all of which are put between 2 massive funnel cakes. Funnel cakes. I love fucking funnel cakes. I love churros. I love funnel cakes. I love Zeppelis, essentially fried dough that's covered with sugar as soon as it gets out.
That's what they call it in New Hampshire, fried dough.
Fried dough in New Hampshire. So if you're telling me I can go to a Wisconsin Timber Rattlers game, I would go to that just to have a 1 pound burger. And in Wisconsin, it looks like we're going to be serving it correct because they do those cannibal things where they eat the raw meat. I would do a 1 pound burger, medium rare, lettuce, tomato, cheese, bacon, all between 2 massive funnel cake buns. If you see anything like that you think I would be interested in, send my way. If you have any good food invites, send our way. We might start putting this together into some more cohesive content. We're always looking for ideas to kind of keep this thing going. And while you guys, if you're enjoying this journey, like I said, we have some high-powered guests coming up within the next couple of weeks. Please, your 5-star reviews, your likes here, your subscribing here, all of that stuff helps the cause here to keep it going. And special thank you to Pepsi once again for sponsoring the podcast, because food deserves Pepsi and you guys deserve what I just gave you, and you got to try this. And Ian and I will see you guys next week.